You're watching TCM Star of the Month Marathon featuring George Brent. I'm Alicia Malone, and we just showed Dark Victory from 1939, which Brent called his favourite film. Next, we have the film Brent called his second favourite from 1940 and directed by Edmund Goulding. It's Till We Meet Again. This is a remake of the 1932 romance One Way Passage, which starred Kay Francis and William Powell. Here, it's Merle Oberon and George Brent. Oberon is Joan, a young woman travelling on a ship who is suffering from an illness she tries to hide. And Brent is Dan, a criminal travelling on the same ship who tries to hide his conviction from her. Around this time, George Brent signed his second contract with Warner Brothers, following the end of his initial 7-year contract that began in 1932. After his performances in hit films such as Jezebel, Dark Victory, and The Old Maid, his weekly salary had increased, though he paused to think before signing back with the studio. Brent had enjoyed his time on other studio lots when he was loaned out for roles at MGM and Fox, and Warner's worked him hard. As he said, except for a 4-month suspension, he never had more than 1 or 2 days off during his 20 years at the studio. "They'd tell me to go ahead," he said, "and take a week off in Mexico. But by the time I was in the car on the highway, there would be a highway patrolman on my tail saying I was wanted back in Burbank at once." Brent said that one time he took off without telling anyone where he was going, and within 48 hours, someone from the studio had found him, handed him a script, and told him to report for work in the morning. From 1940, also with Geraldine Fitzgerald, Pat O'Brien, and Frank McHugh, who also starred in One Way Passage, let's watch Till We Meet Again. George Brent received positive reviews for his performance in Till We Meet Again. The Variety reviewer wrote that Brent, quote, "comes within at least a shade of Powell's superb portrayal." High praise indeed, with the reviewer referring to William Powell, who had starred in the original One Way Passage from 1932. Brent himself called the film a lovely romantic story, and it was the first of 2 movies he would make with Merle Oberon. She had recently signed with Warner Brothers and took the role after Bette Davis had turned it down. Davis passed on it because she had just played a socialite with a terminal illness with George Brent and director Edmund Goulding in Dark Victory. But filming Till We Meet Again wasn't all fun and games. Goulding contracted pneumonia, and Merle Oberon contracted a throat infection and then had an allergic reaction to the medication she was prescribed. George Brent was fine, and we have more coming up in our marathon of Brent's films. Up next, he has a rare chance to show off his physical comedy skills in a 1941 comedy also starring Anne Sheridan.
Next on TCM, Honeymoon for 3, then Experiment Perilous, and later, You Can't Escape Forever, and You Can't Circumvent George Brent Tonight.